Just when you think Nintendo can't get any more anti-consumer, they find a way. They led the charge on price increases to $80, and the industry followed suit. Now they've axed both of their discount programs. First gold points, and now the vouchers, which were the only reliable ways to get discounts on Nintendo games. And just recently, Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa told investors they're looking for ways to shorten development cycles. Translation: you're paying more than ever, and you might be getting less. And of course, a vocal segment of Nintendo's own fan base is still cheering them on. They've become some of the most dedicated brand defenders in the entire industry, making excuses, dismissing criticism, and gaslighting anyone who dares to push back. Now, Nintendo's gold points were far from generous, but they were something. You'd earn a few bucks back in eShop credit for buying games, especially digital ones. It gave you at least a minor incentive to stay in Nintendo's ecosystem. And now, gone. Discontinued earlier this year. And then there's the voucher program. This one was legitimately useful. You paid $100 up front and got 2 full-price games, any combo of eligible titles, at a discount. For anyone who was planning to buy big Nintendo releases anyway, it was a no-brainer. And now that's going away too. Nintendo has announced that the voucher program will be discontinued early next year. Once it's gone, that's it. No more discounts. And don't forget, they already said that Switch 2 games wouldn't be eligible for either of these programs. So this isn't some surprise move, it's a pattern. Now, there's speculation that Nintendo might introduce new loyalty programs with the Switch 2. But that sounds like pure copium. If they were planning to replace these perks with something new, they would have said so when they killed the old ones. Why generate unnecessary negative PR if your intent is to replace these systems with something new? That would just be stupid. And while Nintendo may be anti-consumer, they aren't stupid. So yeah, until they prove otherwise, it's safe to say these programs are going away and never coming back. But this isn't happening in a vacuum, so let's zoom out for a second. Thanks to Nintendo, we are now in the $80 era. Most of the games people buy Switch 2 for will come with the higher price tag. And the justification is always the same. Games are bigger, more advanced, and more expensive to make. But most gamers are fine with longer development cycles as long as the games are good and launch unbroken. Nobody complains that Tears of the Kingdom took years to develop, or that Metroid Prime 4 restarted from scratch. If the result is a polished, ambitious game, people are willing to wait. But Nintendo is trying to have it both ways. They raise prices, supposedly, because development cycles are longer and more expensive. But just recently, President Furukawa told investors that they're exploring ways to make games faster again, to shorten development timelines while still offering players a sense of novelty. So, which is it? If we're paying more because games take longer, but now they're coming out faster, are we still paying more? I think we all know the answer to that. It's not that players are demanding faster development. It's that Nintendo wants to cut costs while keeping prices high. Of course, this could mean a return to more experimental, mid-sized projects like Captain Toad or NES Remix. Nintendo used to make lots of creative, lower-budget games between its flagship titles. But the more likely outcome, smaller games at full price. Because let's be honest, if Nintendo could squeeze $80 out of a 6-hour Zelda game, they would. Happily. And this might not sting so much if we still had other ways to save money. But this isn't 2005. We don't live in a world where you can just stroll into GameStop and easily buy a used Nintendo game at half price. Almost everything is digital now. Nintendo pushes the eShop harder than ever. And with these 2 programs gone, there is no reliable way to get a discount on first-party games. Because let's be real, Nintendo's games don't drop in price. They are notorious for keeping their games at full price for years, decades even. Hell, they're still charging $50 for 1-2 Switch, a game no one wanted in the first place. And they happily charge $70 for a Switch 2 version of Breath of the Wild, a game that launched in 2017. This is a company that refuses to include bundled titles, rarely discounts anything meaningful, and now wants to remove even the appearance of a reward system. That's not just greedy, it's arrogant. And yet their fans defend it all. When Nintendo launched an aggressive patent assault on Palworld, straight out of the pharmaceutical industry's playbook, who cares? It's just a Pokemon clone. Never mind that the suit had nothing to do with character designs. It was about game mechanics. When gold points were removed, hey, at least we can still spend what we've got left. I'm sorry, but not being robbed isn't a perk. Why are you giving Nintendo credit for the bare minimum? When the voucher program was axed, well, you can still buy used physical games. Sure, if you're one of these shrinking number of people still buying physical copies, and then only maybe. Because with the majority of sales being digital, the used game market is on life support. Good luck finding the specific game you want at a local brick and mortar. And when prices jump to $80, inflation, bro. Never mind that manufacturing and distribution costs have plummeted over the last 2 decades. With most sales now digital, Nintendo saves a fortune on physical production and doesn't have to split nearly as much revenue with retailers. This is insanity. No other fan base is this eager to carry water for a corporation who treats them like a piggy bank. These are the same people who parrot Nintendo's talking points uncritically, who frame everything as a necessary business decision, no matter how transparently anti-consumer or how damaging it is to the industry. Nintendo has achieved the corporate dream. They've managed to turn parts of their audience into unpaid PR reps. And as long as that remains true, they have no incentive to change. Because let's be clear, this is a conscious strategy. Raise prices, reduce output, eliminate discounts, normalize all of it. And the sad thing? It's working. Nintendo is one of the most profitable gaming companies on the planet. And thanks to a fan base willing to excuse anything, as long as they get a new Mario once a decade, there's almost no pressure to stop it. But this should be a wake-up call. The gold points are gone, the vouchers are going, prices are up, and if Furukawa is serious about shortening development times, we may see quality dip next. All while fans say, "Thank you, Nintendo. May we please have some more?"